Saturday, November 26th, 2011. At a park, we had mutual friends that thought that we would be a good hookup. We talked on the phone first because I wasn't trying to meet some blind date for no reason. Our first date,
me being frugal, unlike her, she likes to call me cheap,
was to Friendly's.
I was the manager up there, so I didn't have to pay for it. So in case things went awry, I didn't have to come out the pocket other than getting her home.
I didn't know this, but he takes me to this Friendly's out in the county somewhere.
Plus I could show off a little bit, saying that I was a manager,
He walks in and everybody's, hey, hey. I'm like, okay.
I can make sure, she got the cheese with her cheese fries. And
he's like, just order whatever you want. Like we went to Lebec Finn.
Try and play big shot.
He was like, yeah, y'all know what to do. Kind of, I guess, letting them know, comp that or whatever. I mean, I thought it was a sweet first date because, a lot of times guys go kind of over the top to the left trying to impress you. But I thought Friendly's, how cute, how elementary, how real sweet and pure.
Got off of work early, pulled out the best suit, went down to her job with 24 red roses, and I got there and they told me that she left work early. Met her at Brown. She got to the car, she just had a horrible day.
But actually my first reaction, I really was in tears, like sincere shock and tears. Because I guess you don't imagine a bad day ending on that good a note.
Got in the car, sat on the roses, tried to come up with something, threw on J-Moss, I Give You More, got down on my one good knee, and asked her to marry me. She looked at me like, what are you doing down there? Pulled out the ring, she looked at it, went to the bathroom, slammed the door.
At the time when we got engaged, he really had just come back into my life.
I thought that was the answer. She came out crying, talking about, okay, are you serious?
We dated when I was 18 for a summer. And I kind of thought he was an arrogant little snot. And he's heard this story before. So that kind of didn't work out. But I was younger, he was younger, so we kind of let that be a wrap. 7 years later, he comes back. Apparently with something on his mind and an intention from the beginning. But I wouldn't find this out until about, 6 months or so later.
I'm thinking she's in there laughing at me, figuring out a way how to climb out the window or something.
It was just that I had kind of talked to the Lord about, never getting married and nobody wanting to necessarily deal with all of the things that made up me.
When she came out crying and tears were just rolling down her eyes, I was waiting for her to say something. And that was probably the longest minute waiting for a response that I've ever experienced.
Trying to make this like romantical. And she said yes. But I didn't think that was going to be a good enough story to tell the kids.
At this time, she actually had moved in my apartment. She kind of had set up shop in the living room. I had a sofa bed, and I'm still in my bedroom, but she wouldn't take my bedroom at the time. Thanksgiving night, we were at my aunt's house for Thanksgiving, and the following morning, she was planning on getting up like 2, 3 in the morning because it's Black Friday to go shopping. She wanted my credit cards, and I looked at her and I was like, let's get married. We weren't financially stable at the time to do the whole bells and whistles church wedding. So we figured let's elope, make it official, sleep in the same room, which was obviously a plus, being married, and do the wedding, later on. So we figured, on our 7-year anniversary, 7 being God's number, let's do it this year. We got the house, we both got good jobs, why wait?
So I had to come up with another idea a couple days later to get the ring back because it wasn't the right size, thank goodness, because I didn't have an excuse to take the ring back.
I was surprised again because you know, he had already proposed, and, you know, we started kind of settling into the fact that we were going to really do this, and trying to make some kind of plans. You know, neither one of us had been married before, so we didn't know what we were in for. But, you know, we said, okay, this is for real.
We were by the waterfalls. We were sitting on the rocks, and we were just talking.
We went out, and we were just kind of walking and talking and having our little couple time. And, you know, we were sitting on these rocks looking at this waterfall in Valley Green, and he said to me, you know, you sing for everybody else, but you never sing to me. And when I really, really thought about it, I said, you know what, you're right. So I called myself surprising him, and I just spontaneously broke out and started singing Can You Stand the Rain by New Edition, because I thought that was kind of a perfect summary of our relationship. And here, I guess he kind of set me up because he had something in store for me.
And I had make believe that it was a shooting star. I told her to look at it, so when she looked up, of course I had pulled the ring out.
Again, unexpected moments. And he has a really great way of surprising, anticipating, and thinking things through when it comes to the romance aspect of things. So it was really, really sweet. You know, Lettucey has a song out right now called The Pieces of Me. And it talks about how women are so complicated. And we really are. And I just thought there cannot possibly be a man on this earth that can deal with complicated me.
I did go to her mom because her father's not alive. And, you know, told her mom that, you know, we were talking about getting married.
He had talked to my mom and talked to my pastor, and kind of let those people that were really, really on my inner circle know what his intentions were.
We were in the kitchen at her house, and she told me, I don't really think you want to marry my daughter. You don't know how much of a handful she is. She claims that, you know, that conversation never happened, but you just can't forget something like that when the mother tells you might not want to marry my daughter because she's a handful. But my mother-in-law did give me her blessings.
Lo and behold, not only had I met him when I was basically a child, but he came back when I was a woman, and he came back with a sincere love and a sincere desire to see me happy. And so when he actually asked me, right after I just told the Lord, it couldn't have been more than a month before, that I didn't think I would ever get married. I just had too much with me. And then here he comes, and it was just the feeling I guess you get when God answers a prayer. My determination and my ability to encourage him to dig deeper, to press harder, and to believe beyond what he can necessarily see.
I probably definitely taught her patience. In the beginning, actually now, not as much, we bump heads.
It's one of those things where, yes, opposites do attract, but there is something in the mix that is similar that keeps you together. And I know one of Andre's favorite sayings is, "You're everything I never knew I wanted." And I think that sums us up beautifully.
We're both very similar and very different at the same time. So when I decide on something, I pretty much set in stone. And she's kind of the same way. So she's learned to be patient with me because, you know, I always think my ideas or my solutions are always the best. And it usually is, but every once in a while, her idea is better than mine. And it takes me a while to come around. So she's definitely learned how to be patient with me.
I am a crazy faith kind of girl. So it may not look feasible or possible. It may not make any sense at all in his mind. And he's very line upon line, precept upon precept, dollars and cents. But once I can get him connected to the things that he dreams about and the things that he hopes for, I think that allows him to be a better man.
No one knows how to push your buttons better than your spouse. I know I've tried ripping that button off the wall, taking the wires apart. Somehow, some way, she'll learn how to hot wire it and get that button to working again. And the same thing for me. I know I'm not the easiest person to live with, let alone be married to. So we definitely learned each other's strengths and weaknesses. And hopefully we tend to stick on the strengths more than the weaknesses. Babe, these last 7 years we definitely had a lot of ups and downs. Thank God we've had more ups than downs. I think we probably got rid of all our down parts in the beginning part of our marriage, because these last 4 or 5 years have truly been a blessing.
Well, Mr. Blount, if I could tell you one thing, it would be that no one has ever gotten inside me like you do. Nobody knows how to light me up like you do. And nobody will ever, ever, ever be able to penetrate the inner chambers of my heart like you have.
I don't know where I would be without you. I'm definitely a better man for having you in my life. And I know I've been divinely favored by having you as my wife. I hope these last 7 years have been just a starting point for us. I hope we have another 50, 60, 70 years together. I want to be an old man in a senior citizen's home, driving around on my lark with you on my back, still trying to impress you by doing wheelies. Every day I wake up, I look at you, and I'm just so thankful that God had blessed you and blessed me, more importantly, to have you in my life. I mean, I never thought I'd be married, to be totally honest. So to have you to take my name and be my wife has been a miracle in itself. When it took, I don't know how many attempts just to ask you out, for you to say yes. For you to say yes to spend the rest of your life with me is probably my most cherished memory up to the date.
I know that my life would not be the same if you had not come into it, left it, and came back into it. And my hope is that you will never leave it again, and that we'll continue to build on our story, our success story, our love story, our journey. I love you.